And I pointed out here, and this is Connecticut and national. And you just look at the progression. Look as the recession ended, what it's leaving in its aftermath. This growth of folks in this category of the unemployed who, after a year, remain unemployed. Look at it in July of 2009, where the numbers were high, but 15 and 19%, to where it was a year later, July of 2010, 29% and 36%, and where we are today, 37% of the unemployed remain there for a year or longer. Again, it is something to watch and to understand that something is happening. Now let's take it home again, because this is a chart I've showed you from June of 2010. And this is really bringing it down to the neighborhood level. And when I say that I get frightened, there's no chart that frightens me more than this one. We ought to be terrified. And we ought to be terrified because there's no end in sight. Understand that you look at the weekly filings on a national level for unemployment. Occasionally we take comfort because they get a little bit under 400,000, only to bounce back 2 weeks later or the next week. And they remain very, very high, over 420,000 filings just this week. But this tells us about this 56,000 plus that have hit this point in Connecticut as of August of this year. And the numbers that we have here, the estimates of how it's growing weekly, we've measured it. It is moving in that direction. So every week in our state, 650 to 700 people will reach that 99-week point and lose benefits. Now on the right side, it's our little region, 20 towns. And we're already at 10,500 that have hit that. And we know it's increasing by 100 to 125 every single week. On a national level, that number is at least 2.5 million. 2.5 million. Now this chart here looks at the national uninsurance rate of exhaustion. This is an important one because I think it tells a clear story here. If you were to look here, it takes from 2010 by quarter. The lower level will tell you the number of people that quarter that expired benefits. And then you look to the top and you get the cumulative number. So follow it right to the end. Now this begins in 2010, so I assure you if I went to 2009, which I could have, these numbers would be larger. You got 5 million people that by the day of the election next year will reach the point where they've exhausted benefits. Think about 5 million people. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, we think that we have seen storms. We've seen all kinds of weather conditions where national emergencies have been called. And they should have been called. They were disasters. We've seen this country go to support folks who are resisting the will of tyrants. And we do that, and we should do that. National emergencies are declared. But where is it here? Where is it here? Why aren't we getting a sense that 5 million people? This is like a procession. Think about it, how long it would be. 5 million people walking through lines. It bothers me, and I get particularly bothered when I don't see the level of outrage around the nation that I think we should see.